Live from Fargo and serving you on TV, online, and on the go. This is Valley News Live at 5.
New for you now at 5. Grand Forks County deputies are trying to figure out who shot up a house in the Northern Valley. Authorities say it happened around 9 p.m. last night, a mile west of the city of Grand Forks in the 1200 block of 69th Street South. Deputies say the home had multiple bullet holes, yet luckily no one was injured. If you have any information on the shooting, you're urged to call the Grand Forks County Sheriff's Office at this phone number, 701-780-8280. It's a great Monday when you've got sunshine. We don't want to lose those 20s we saw today either, but sounds like it might be inevitable. Here's Hutch with your No Wait weather planner. Hutch.
Yes, after a light dose of wintry snowfall across much of the Red River Valley in western Minnesota, things really improved sunshine-wise. We did see breaks in the clouds with the wind still blowing, and there are slippery spots down near the South Dakota border there. Some slippery roads as a result of the drifting over those road surfaces. Some moderate to heavy snow pushing into the Twin Cities to Duluth on I-35. For us, we have a few areas of light snow showers continuing as cold air is on the march out of Canada and right out down into the valley. So the 20s now are going to be short-lived. Here's your planner for Fargo tonight. We'll be dipping into the teens after 8 o'clock tonight. On our way into the single digits to near zero. Up north, sub-zero temperatures overnight, but not this evening. We're going to hold on to just barely above zero with wind chills that will be pretty brutal. Tuesday is a day of transition. We'll talk about your forecast for Tuesday and beyond. Arctic air and then a significant snow possible as well. Details in a few minutes.
Because it is still February.
It certainly is.
Yeah, thanks, Hutch.
Yeah.
Police had to use stop sticks and a pit maneuver on a woman this morning because she wouldn't pull over, and officers say she was driving a stolen car. Moorhead police tell us they tried pulling over 22-year-old Cassandra Perez and eventually got her to stop in the 1500 block of 30th Avenue South. Officials say the car she was driving was reported stolen in Fargo. Perez is now facing 2 felony charges, possession of a stolen vehicle and fleeing. A popular bar and nightclub in St. Cloud is a total loss after an early morning fire. The massive fire at Press Bar and Parlor started about 2:40 this morning and burned for hours. That business was a staple in downtown St. Cloud for decades. Crews were fighting the fire from the inside for about an hour, but say it got too big and they had to get out and fight it from the outside.
I think having it gone is going to be a huge impact to downtown businesses, especially where it's located right now next to Cowboy Jack's and the red carpet.
Firefighters were able to contain the fire just to the Press Bar, but they don't know how much damage the building nearby had from the heat and the water. More than 300 American cruise ship passengers, including some who tested positive for coronavirus, are back on American soil today. They arrived overnight on chartered flights from Japan, with the infected passengers held inside a specialized containment area on the aircraft. The latest now from NBC's Dan Scheneman.
14 of the hundreds of Americans evacuated from the Diamond Princess cruise ship via chartered planes to the U.S. have now tested positive for the novel coronavirus, according to the State Department. Those infected spending the 12-hour flights in isolation chambers on board, landing overnight at Air Force bases in California and Texas.
So the people that tested positive for this, they're going to be put in isolation, which means essentially they're going to be put in a hospital. They're going to be treated for any symptoms they have.
13 transported directly to the University of Nebraska Medical Center in Omaha.
These individuals were brought here because we have the personnel, we have the facilities, we have the resources and the expertise to handle these kind of individuals.
The World Health Organization announcing today that according to data from China, the spread of COVID-19 continues to slow in that country.
It's too early to tell if this reported decline will continue. Every scenario is still on the table.
Scenarios causing concern around the globe as medical experts worldwide work to contain the outbreak. Dan Scheneman, NBC News.
As for the other evacuees, they will have to spend another 2 weeks in quarantine to make sure they are virus-free. North Dakota Congressman Kelly Armstrong announced his re-election campaign today. Armstrong was first elected to the U.S. House of Representatives in 2018 with more than 60% of the vote. Today, he spoke briefly about the fallout after the Department of Justice report.
We've had Horowitz in front of oversight. We just had the director of the FBI in front of judiciary, and I asked some questions very similar to this. I've read both of the IG reports. I've read the sentencing memo in the Roger Stone case, and I think I'm disappointed that Andy McCabe is not being held accountable to something.
On the other side of the race is Zach Racknerud, who is running for the Democratic nomination in North Dakota. A mother and her pups are recovering after being found out in the snow. Officials with Red Lake Rosie's rescue shelter say a family discovered the dog with her 6 puppies in more than a foot of snow. The puppies were about 3 weeks old and hungry because the mother had stopped producing milk. They say the mom, named Snowbell, has now been fixed and her puppies are being adopted. Also, they say after a few days of warm shelter and good food, Snowbell started producing lots of milk for her babies. Home goods retailer Pier 1 Imports is filing for bankruptcy protection even as it looks for a new owner. The Fort Worth, Texas-based company was founded in 1962 and has been struggling with increased competition from online retailers such as Wayfair. Last month, Pier 1 announced it would close 450 stores, including all of its stores in Canada. Officials say the Fargo location is expected to remain open. A Minnesota couple was supposed to be in China right now, bringing their son home, but the coronavirus outbreak has led to delays in adoptions. Tamara and Jeremy Lawson from Byron, Minnesota, are now faced with an indefinite adoption wait for their son, Noah. The 5-year-old is in an orphanage near Wuhan, where the coronavirus started. Heidi Wigdahl has their story.
That one is from Christmas with our dog Radley in it.
Tamara and Jeremy Lawson know what it's like to wait for their son.
We saw his picture and just went, that's our son.
It took 15 months to bring Liam home from China in 2016.
Yeah.
Now the couple is waiting for their second son, 5-year-old Noah, and it's longer than expected.
For him to know that he's finally getting a forever home and then have it put on hold, that would just, I'm sure it's just crushing for all of the children in that situation.
Tamara and Jeremy should be in China right now bringing Noah home, but their son's orphanage is in the same province as Wuhan, where the coronavirus started. That's led to delays in adoptions.
It could be days, it could be weeks, it could be months. At this point, we just don't know.
The Lawsons have been waiting for Noah since Christmas of 2018.
At work, when I had to go and take my time away from work off the calendar, was a little rough.
They were supposed to get him on February 10th, Tamara's birthday.
Yeah, that was supposed to be my big birthday present, was getting Noah that day.
Yeah, because I remember we were talking about that, spending your birthday in China. And
Now they're waiting for a new day to celebrate.
We just really have to keep reminding ourselves that it's still going to happen. We don't know when.
Yeah.
Officials say China has reported over 70,000 cases of the deadly new virus spreading across Asia and nearly 2,000 deaths. The people who closed Mom's Diner along Main Avenue in Fargo are saying they plan to focus on Tailgaters Sports Cafe, which is located in the same building. The move to close Mom's was made yesterday because, as management indicated, it wasn't viable at that location. They add that there are many different options on what to do with the diner space, but nothing has been decided. Newly released video shows Chicago police officers saving someone who fell into the freezing waters of Lake Michigan. It happened Saturday morning. You can see the person walking very close to the water, and later they walk off screen and a jogger comes by waving for help. Police and fire crews pulled the man onto the lakefront and they took him to a nearby hospital. Plymouth Rock was found covered in red spray paint this morning. Vandals hit several historic pieces in Plymouth, Massachusetts, including the landmark Plymouth Rock, and covered them with graffiti. The rock commemorates the 1620 arrival of the Mayflower carrying pilgrims. The State Department of Conservation and Recreation came in with a power washer to remove the graffiti.